Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to talk to you about my favorite US ETFs, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Julien Regoli, CPA, CMA, your finance coach. I take the bullshit out of finance. There's a lot of people out there that they make investing and saving sound complicated. It really isn't. All you need to do is to understand a few concepts and have the discipline to apply them, and you could be well on your way to financial freedom. You don't need to be a math whiz. You don't need a finance degree. In my channel, I talk about three main things. One is saving money, two is investing money, and three is how to think about money. If this is the kind of content that interests you, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. You'll be notified whenever I upload new content. So without more delay, let me show you my top US ETFs. So the order of the ETFs are from the lowest return to the highest return, historical returns. At the end, I'm also going to show you a graph that compares all of them over 10 years. Here we are. The first one is a bond ETF. Pretty boring, but this is good for someone who is interested in regular dividend yield. You can see that this ETF is pretty stable. It's got $80 billion of assets under management. It gives a dividend yield just shy of 2%. And look at the expense ratio, very low. And what this ETF does is it tracks fixed income bond market. Good to have in a portfolio. For those of you who are concerned with volatility, maybe you want to have some of this. The second one is Vanguard FTSE Developed Markets ETF. Ticker is VEA. It tracks the performance of developed country all cap, so that means large, medium, and small cap, and it excludes US index. So it's a way to be invested in other non-US markets. And it follows approximately, it says 3,865 common stocks of large, mid, and small cap companies located in Canada and major markets of Europe and Pacific region. By the way, all the ETFs I'm going through today are in US dollars. And so look at this expense ratio of 0.05. It's got a nice dividend of 2.49%. You might want to automatically reinvest that. I have a video on how to automatically reinvest dividends. So take a look at that. I'm going to flash it on the screen. It's got over $100 billion of assets under management. Very, very large. You'll see that it holds a ton of stocks, not a lot. So it's very, very diversified. So something that you want to have if you are looking to diversify and not only be in the US. The next one is the Vanguard Value ETF. This is a really good one because it has a good dividend. Again, take a look at how to reinvest that. An expense ratio of 0.04%, over $80 billion of assets under management, and it's done pretty well over the years. In 10 years, 222%. And you can see that this one invests in large cap in the US, large cap value stocks. And we take a look here what that means. Berkshire, Warren Buffett's fund, represents 3%. So it's the highest weighted investment in this fund. And then JP Morgan Chase, Johnson & Johnson. So these are large caps value companies. Interesting and definitely something to consider if you're looking for value. The next one is one that I've spoken to you about in other videos. It's VOO, Vanguard S&P 500. It basically follows the S&P 500 index. Look at that, 0.03 expense ratio. Dividend yield of 1.31. It's got over $240 billion of assets under management. It's definitely something to consider. S&P 500, as you probably know, tracks 500 top US companies, very well diversified and very well performing over the years. Next one is Vanguard Growth ETF. If you're into large cap companies and in a growth sector, this is definitely something that you want to take a look at. Very low expense ratio at 0.04, has a lot of assets under management, over 80 billion, and it's got some dividend, but it's not the focus. The focus is on large cap growth, and you can see investments that it has. It's got a good weighting on Apple, Microsoft. Between Apple and Microsoft, it's almost 20% of the fund, and Amazon and Facebook and Google. So Tesla, Nvidia. So you can see that these are very large companies that are in high growth sectors in the US. So if you're more into growth and want to see your portfolio perform, this is definitely something you want to consider. And finally, there's this one here. QQQ follows the top 100 companies on NASDAQ. Like I mentioned before, has the highest expense ratio at 0.2. It's still very low compared to mutual funds. Dividend is lower than the other ones that we've seen, but the focus is not dividend. It's mainly growth. Over $180 billion of assets under management. Huge fund. And again, you'll see that it follows Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. And so definitely something that you want to consider if you're looking for performance and growth, and if you have a higher tolerance for risk, this is definitely something you want to take a look at. So if we compare all of these over the last 10 years, let's look at the last 10 years. QQQ, 583% return, followed by the Vanguard Growth at 411%. VOO, that follows the S&P 500, has done 305%. Following that is the Value Large Cap ETF at 272%. Below that is the indexes that are following everything except the US index. So you can see that that has performed at 85%. And then finally, BND bond ETF at 38.9. If we look at 3 years, we got pretty much the same order with the bond at the bottom and the QQQ at the top. If we look at 5 years, it's similar. Bond is at the bottom and the QQQ is at the top. I always like to take a look at the performance before the lockdown, because the lockdown created some anomalies. So I like to look at how these have done leading up to the lockdown, and you can see that we have a similar pattern. So we have QQQ at the top, and we have the Vanguard Growth one coming in second. Third is the VO. So you have the similar kind of order of performance pre-lockdown. The ranking of these has been kept following the lockdown. So there you have it, folks. I hope this video was useful for you. Hit the like button. Have any questions or comments, leave them in the description of the video below. You'll also find in the description of the video a link to my Calendly if you want to book a one-on-one with me. It's free for a limited time, so I encourage you to take advantage of it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, folks, and hit the bell button. You'll be notified whenever I upload new content. Thanks for watching today, folks, and we'll see you real soon.